Hi, friends. I'm Dave Barklow, pastor at Fort Walton Beach First United Methodist Church. Welcome to the Pastor Study, our daily devotional to help us focus our mind on the things of God. And we started this several weeks ago. We've done a lot of these over the last few weeks, about 4 a week, and we are finally coming to the end of the Sermon on the Mount together. And two things I'm going to lift out of it after I've read these last two verses. But this is chapter 7, verse 28 and 29. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, because he taught as one who had authority, not as their teachers of the law. Now, it's interesting because when we first started this sermon, back over in chapter 6, verse 1, chapter 5, verse 1, it very clearly says, when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on the mountainside and sat down, and his disciples came to him. So Matthew is signaling that this teaching is for Jesus' disciples, for those who are following Christ, not just the general public crowd that would follow him around and listen to him. These were for those who had some level of commitment to Jesus. But here at the very end, after all the words, the crowd shows back up, right? When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowd was amazed at his teachings. So while certainly this instruction is for the committed followers of Christ, Matthew recognizes that the world will overhear what we say and what we do. The writer of the New Interpreter's Bible commentary says this: the community of discipleship speaks its own language, makes its own confession, addresses its ethical demands to those who are committed to Jesus as the Christ and exalted Lord. Yet the church knows it is not an independent group, but that it has a responsibility to the world, so that even its internal talk is carried on with the awareness that the world is listening in. The world is listening in. What we do, what we say, how we treat others, how we treat each other, the world is listening in. And if we follow, like the wise builder we talked about yesterday, the words of Jesus Christ, then I truly believe that the world will get painted a picture of Jesus that is beautiful and wonderful and inviting. Problem is, of course, is when we forget others are listening in, and when we are like the foolish builder and we don't follow what Jesus tells us to do, we can actually wind up turning people off from Jesus as well. And so we take this admonition to know that we are a eavesdropped in on group very carefully. But ultimately, we also realize that it's about Jesus. That's what the crowd realized, right? I mean, in the end, it says that they are amazed. The word there actually is stronger than amazed. It's like they were shocked at the authority with which he taught. Matthew does not center Jesus' authority on another rabbi, as often was done in the Jewish tradition. Matthew doesn't center Jesus' authority on even the Jewish scriptures. Jesus keeps saying, you have heard it said, but I say to you. Rather, Jesus' authority comes from Jesus. Jesus is the event of all history. He has all authority. He has all power. And he is the all in all. He doesn't need anyone else's authority. He is the authority. Friends, I hope you can take that with you today, that you walk with the authority. Let us be like the wise builders and follow what Jesus has taught us, that we may paint a picture of Jesus for this listening in on world that will invite them to come and be part of his kingdom. Remember, friends, I love you. Take care of yourselves and shine the light of Christ.